Welcome back, my loves, to my channel and another wonderful segment of Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers. Of course, starring your girl Titi. Hello, I know it's been some time. And of course, our new lovely addition here, my mini-me, Miss Mahari. Can we say hello to the people, Mahari? She said hi. She's with mommy right now because she's only going to have it she won't have it any other way than to be stuck at my hip. So here she is, and she's going to be a part of this segment today just for cuteness purposes only. All right, and of course our main star for today is going to be my wonderful brother, aka my womb buddy, Mr. Derrick. Derrick is now in my neck of the woods. For those of you who have been following for some time and have seen the show, you already know who he is and that he actually was on the show. For those who have just tuned in, welcome to my channel. Hopefully we'll get you up to speed here and you'll go back and watch the show. That way we can all be on the same page here. But for those of you who don't know, that my twin brother also was aired on the show as well, in support of me in the beginning as well, but also ended up airing his own pain, unfortunately, in front of the world and stuff. So we're going to just ask a few questions in here. I know I've gotten a couple of requests and plenty of questions asking where my brother is and how he's doing, and a little follow-up and a little update one been wanting for some time. So I figured now that he's moved in my neck of the woods, why not bring him on here himself and have him answer some of those questions. And if you happen to have any questions or you just want to talk to him, kind of reach out, whatever, feel free to reach out to us. We'll definitely put those Instagram tags at the bottom of the screen and also at the end of this video as well. If you want to reach out to Derrick personally, I will definitely put his Instagram tag at the bottom of the screen once again at the end of the segment, along with mine, as I always do, and also an email address. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to write them to us. And we can definitely put those in the next segment for other people who may have had those questions as well, or you just want to check, whichever works for you. So let's get straight to it. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start from the beginning of the show. So, as well as I've just stated before, Derrick originally came on the show in support of me as his sister, and which I really, really, really appreciated that so much. And like I said, he ended up airing a little bit of his pain for you guys as well. So let's start there, Derrick. So what initially put it in your heart to want to go on the show?
To be there for you, basically. I seen a lot, basically. Tiffany, as we experience these things together, I didn't want you to be the only one on the show that was basically getting humiliated by our parents. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want you to be by yourself on that stage. I would feel bad if you was on the stage by yourself and your brother wasn't there. He knew what was going on in our life. So I didn't want you to be alone with that. So basically that's the real reason why I went.
And that's appreciated. Like I said before, that's very appreciated. So what were your thoughts? What was going through your head at the time once you hit the stage and finally coming face to face with the two people? Well, I want to say face to face for the first time because you lived in the same area at the time with them, but for once being able to kind of face the bully, as I would say. What were all the thoughts going through your head? What were some things that you were thinking? How did you feel?
Oh man, y'all, anger. When I first seen my parents, I didn't even really focus on anybody else but that stage and my parents. When I walked on the stage, it was like look at my parents, man. Dang, these are the parents that we was born with. It was anger. Every flashbacks was I was just getting a lot of flashbacks, like everything that they did to us in our life. So basically, this is everything that I was thinking when I was walking up to that stage. This is what I was thinking. It made me angry. I didn't focus on nothing else. So I was basically just angry when I saw them, and I was hurt at the same time, looking at my sister and seeing how hurt and angry she was as well, because we're twins. I feel her pain. You know what I'm saying? I can feel everything, and it also hurted me. It's like we shouldn't even be here because of y'all. But hey, that's the life of living with narcissistic parents.
Absolutely agreed, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you feel in any way that it helped you mentally, or just being able to get that off your chest, or did you feel any way vindicated for going on the show and kind of letting the world see what it is that we've been dealing with for so long? Did you feel like it helped you in any way being on there, or?
Let me see. It really, it kind of made me a little happy that we got to see that. I mean, to show the world that, you know, there's parents out here just like that, and any lies or anything that they was telling everybody else that we were the crazy ones and stuff like that. It was like, here's the proof.
Right.
You know, we're not psychotic, because mind you, my parents is good. Narcissistic parents, they know how to twist your words up. They know how to make it look like you're the problem and they're the victim. Oh. They masters of deception. Absolutely. You know, and masters at manipulation. Absolutely. And so it's like yeah, like basically.
Okay, and so what did you take from the show after the show itself? What did you take from them? Do you feel like that any part of them received anything of what we said on that show? Absolutely.
No.
Okay, absolutely.
No.
And could you describe your feelings? Let's talk about as you walk back to the dressing room, and knowing what we experienced with your mother on a rampage on the way back to the dressing rooms. How did that make you feel with her rampage and screaming and on the way back?
All I could really do is shake my head and just say, "Oh, Lord help us." That's it. I mean, it wasn't even no, look how they act. Shoot, she act like that all the time. Like,
it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. It's like I couldn't feel nothing but, you know what? Thank you, God, that people see that we not the crazy ones. You know what I'm saying? It's them. They showed themselves on the show. They show how they are. Absolutely. You know, did we act crazy? No, we wasn't the crazy one. We was Mom was telling on herself. Like, come on, y'all folks, this stuff real. Like,
absolutely. And I remember saying before the same thing I've said before on here as well, is that we could do all of this at home. We could yell and scream at home, but we didn't come on the show to do that as well. So if we wanted to do that, we could definitely do that at home. We were there to get some kind of closure, to seek help, if not for anyone else but ourselves, because it was needed.
And look at this. Like, you see what we went through on the show? Well, that's what we go through at home.
And let's talk about that, brother. So let's talk about after the show itself. Now, we know that on this channel that I've talked about how I felt after the show with being basically served paperwork at the end, you know, the vindictiveness that happened after that, or her revenge rampage after that. Let's talk a little bit about that and how that made you feel. So let's talk about that moment when you received how you felt when you were served. Now, were you served at your job, on your job?
I was at my house.
At your house. And let's talk about that.
Yeah, it really didn't change. Like, after the show, it really got worse. You know, why everybody looking at the show thinking like, dang, wow, okay, think that it was over? Nah, it wasn't over, man. We went to court for it. My mom tried to get us locked up. You know what I'm saying? But thank God the judge saw that. and seen that it was revenge, and it was revenge. My mom and dad, when I went to court, my mom and dad just looked at us with this cold-hearted look like, we gonna get y'all type thing. Like it's like, they're enemies with their own kids, and this is what we lived since we was little kids. It just got worse as we got older.
And let's take a little. I'm sorry,
mm-hmm.
I thought you finished.
Oh,
my apologies. But let's take a walk into the courtroom, because I know that I've touched on it, and I've actually provided the documentation on here from the papers that were served. But I don't know if I mentioned it or not. I believe I did. That my mother didn't know my new address, so she wasn't able to serve me, but she claimed that she did in an attempt to get me in trouble with the bailiff because I was not present. And I had hired an attorney for my aunt and for my sibling and his wife as well to represent them in court. So I was at work at the time and just kind of checking in to see how things were going. But my brother actually got to sit there for himself and see that up close and personal. Can we talk about that briefly here for a moment, brother, about what took place in that courtroom with your parents?
Well, we didn't really have to say much. Like, she told on herself, the certain things that she did, she basically just said, yeah, I did it. I mean, I can't remember everything that happened in the courtroom, but she was basically telling on herself, and judge just told me, I was married at the time, and my wife was trying to argue her point, but the judge like, for what? We got your back. Like, you winning this. Like, was just telling my wife to just leave it alone. You don't have to say nothing. So then, as my mother proceeded on with her argument, the judge automatically seen that, all of this was just revenge, basically. And she started talking about Tiffany again, my sister again. You know what I'm saying? And that was just obvious. Like, oh, come on now. She was just it was basically a Dr. Phil show all over again, basically. But with a judge. But
that's a good way to describe it. Basically, what Dr. Phil all over again,
right?
Except in the court of law. That's a good way to describe it, there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on from that as well with the court and things like that, and you also yourself too received threats and things that sort, or text messages basically downing you as well about going on the show and things of that sort as well. So let's talk about how that affected you mentally. We know we've been dealing with that all our lives, but do you think that your mother would go so far as to attempt to send threats and to send us to court? How did that make you feel inside, internally, mentally?
It make you want to go off even more, really. It's like the pain don't stop. Like, gosh, you might see me as a, like, come, I don't know what's the word, try to be happy and this and that. But inside, man, I'm hurting, and I had to go to a quiet place and scream. You literally want to pull your hair out because of it. And it's like, when does it end? Like, why are we the targets? Like, why are you being enemies towards your own children? Like, they disgusted by us. They don't want to see us on the face of this earth. It's like, that's how I felt inside about my parents. It's like, y'all just straight, like, y'all want to squish us like we cockroaches. It was just anger. I was just, like, you don't want to live no more. Like, I can't take this no more. And your parents, you feeling in your spirit that, dang, they really don't give a darn about us. So it's like, why should we care anymore?
Absolutely.
It's over.
Now, we know that our mother was definitely the highlight of the show. Mm-hmm. As we all know that she loves attention. Yeah. So she got the attention that she was seeking, as always. It's always a show of her, whether it's national TV or at home. So let's talk about Dad for a little bit, or father. I like to say father in quotes because we all know that they don't act like them. So anyway, knowing what we know growing up, that Dad wasn't always this guy, that, you know, he in himself is a victim of abuse as well with our mother, and it doesn't in any way condone anything that he does. He's just as equally wrong as our mother. But how does that feel in that light, having to accept the fact that your father is just as wrong as your mom, knowing that that was all we had? How does it feel to see your dad, that you once knew as a hero, to be there for us, suddenly take a turn for the worse?
Honestly, the pain don't change. It's just, well, I would say it intensifies the pain. You know, every day you thinking about it, you dreaming about it, you hearing your voice, your father's voice and your mother's voice in your dreams, and all you see and hear in your dream is fussing and cussing, and you snapping on your parents snapping on you. That's it. Like, the pain just intensifies.
And would you think in a million years your father would be this person today?
No, Dad was never like that. Honestly, y'all, what y'all seen on the show was not our dad. Let's talk about my dad. Our dad, when we was kids, of course, my dad, the only thing my dad might have did was put his hands on us, which we thought was normal.
Which is normalized.
Yeah, no.
Abuse was definitely normalized.
Wait a minute, hold on. So wait a minute,
Let's go back.
my dad choked us, slapped us in the head, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Or so I can't even say my dad was, 100% good, because it's like, see, there I go. We thought it was normal. You would have thought it was normal that our dad get mad, because their thing was, if we put you in this world, we can take you out. So we was like, well, okay, it's normal. Like, they can choke us and take us out type thing. So it's like, whatever.
Absolutely.
And so to see my dad change like that, but first of all, our dad was like a minister doing this. Yeah, he was a minister doing this, and man, Tiffany, now that I really sit here and talk about it.
Just a moment, it's a epiphany moment, like that. You know what? It kind of was just, I think that when we speak on the man that he used to be, it was after, because you see, our father actually tried to remedy the situation, if you will. He tried to ask for forgiveness in itself.
Right.
For he was in a dark place when he was much younger with us, were basically repeating habits from his, whether it be his childhood or things of that sort.
Right.
So I think that the difference between them in that moment, which when we speak of the man that he used to be, was after the forgiveness took place. He was a man that could admit his faults at then, to say, I know I wasn't the best father at that time, and I thought that putting my hands on you guys the way I did was wrong. Mm-hmm. And he made peace with that with us. So let me correct myself when I say the man that he used to be was after those things that my brother speak of took place. Because we want to correct that, because he had his moments. He's very intense. He was in the service, like we all said. He was in the Army. And I guess he brought a lot of that mentality back. When I say mentality, I'm a service member too, a veteran and stuff too. So not like in a bad way, but just kind of like that aggressiveness within him. Mm-hmm. He brought it. He didn't know how to turn it on and off per se. Mm-hmm. So he brought the Army home with him.
Yeah, he really did.
And that mentality.
He sure did. You couldn't even have one piece of paper on the floor, and my dad would go off, and he'd hit you in the head just for that.
Yeah.
So
those were in our younger years. Yeah. But he made his steps towards to remedy that with hanging out with us, doing Father's Day, trying to right his wrongs, if you say. Yeah. So like I said, we'll correct that part to say that he had his moments indeed. Yeah. And the difference between him and my mother was that he had actually tried to right his wrongs at some point in time. Mm-hmm. So to see him I won't say revert back to that way, because now this is a whole new Kevin, because this is coming from, hey, I started out intense with you guys, to now I'm dad of the year, and I right my wrongs, to now we're on a whole nother level mentally, where it's like he's gone in the head, like he's he's really like the mental abuse is worse, if I want to say now, where he's just not himself
Right.
anymore, you know, from the man that had changed after the service. So as a man today, as a 35-year-old man today, and knowing that you never stop needing your dad, how does it feel to know that you don't have that?
Honestly, my dad was so harsh in the training us, really, it's like, I don't need my dad. Honestly, I'm a strong, hard working man, and honestly, one thing he did give to us, even though now he would get upset about it and start all of this crazy stuff, but he taught us how, he basically trained us like Spartans. Like, if we get hurt, my dad was the type of dad was like, suck it up. You know, we men, I'm trying to train y'all, me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to train y'all how to be men. So, and he trained us not to need our parents. But then when we became that way, all of a sudden, you know, we getting attacked. You know, so basically,
yeah, the independence part, to be independent and to stand up for yourself.
Right.
But once we started to implement those things, then it's kind of like it backfired on
it.
us.
Sure did.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now, how would you say, how is this, you know, mentally, how has this affected your relationships, like your love life? Let's start with that.
My love life? No, now we really getting into something deep. Well, my love life, my mom was the type, okay, now I'm dealing with narcissistic parents. My mom would say, okay, we want to hook me up with somebody. And, well, I talked to the girl, this and that, you know, mom's cool with it, you know what I'm saying? But this is when the trouble comes in. When she sees you happy, she begins to attack you. But if you're unhappy, she's cool with the person. All right, I had a real good girlfriend, and she basically started doing voodoo on her. When me and my brother, you know, after we broke up, make the story short, after we broke up, I tried running, you know, came home, me and my brother were just playing around, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I practiced martial arts, so me and my brother used to always, you know, practice fighting. And then one day, you know what I'm saying, we wanted to, I don't know how we end up seeing mom's pocketbook or something. I don't believe it fell or something like that. We was looking for something that day. I can't remember clearly, but we found a voodoo doll in my mother's pocketbook, and it said breakup doll. So when she said when they said breakup doll, I automatically knew that, okay, this was had to be because of, you know, the relationship I had with this person. So we looked it up online, and we noticed that it was a breakup doll. And it was basically saying, like, in order, how y'all break up is y'all will have like a negative, you know, y'all both go backwards and forwards on things. Like, everything will be basically negative. I can't explain it. Basically, we'll go against each other. Everything we talk about, we'll go against each other, and it'll make us break up with each other. And that's exactly what happened. Mom used to call and say, I'll guarantee you will be back in 2 months, tops, and 3 months. And actually, I was back in them 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Now, would you say, so that's just being one example in itself. So would you say that that's been apparent, is correct to say, or you could agree that this has been like a pattern itself, not just in the sense of just voodoo, but just her being very destructive with all of your relationships?
Most definitely.
And
yes.
You know, my take on that was that because it's a woman, and as a man, how would you say that your perception about, has it in any way, having a mother like her, has it any way altered your perception about women at any point in time when growing up around a woman like that?
No, not really. It just was like, no. It was just like, I'll just see that this just the type of mom we got.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah.
Now, what about your so we know that it definitely affected your relationships even into your marriage as well,
Yeah, most
which
definitely.
we definitely saw a clip of that as well on the show. For those of you just tuning in, like I said, you can go back and watch those. It definitely gives you a little more detail on what happened with that itself. Now we know that it also has affected at some point in time in relationship with your siblings, and let's talk a little briefly on how it's called triangulation. So basically, when you're dealing with narcissistic parents, preferably my mother, they come in between the relationships with the siblings in order to maintain control. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that briefly, brother. So we talked about your love life briefly here. Let's touch on that as well, because I think that's very important on how that came to be. How did that make you feel that she basically intruded in your relationship with your siblings? How does that make you feel, knowing that at some point in time we all were close and now we're now mending all of those things?
Dirty, grimy, gritty, like snake, like you a devil, like F you mom type anger, like man, like y'all taught us to be together, like we all supposed to be, you know, brothers and sisters, so we always love each other and we always have each other back. But then when we did, she tried to split us apart. She even complained about it and said, would tell us like we too close. And you know, that type of thing. It's like she didn't like to see that. So how I felt about that, it was just, I felt like it was just evil. Like it was harsh. Like, what the heck is we supposed to do? Are we supposed to fight each other or be there for each other? It's like, well, you know, the things that they taught us, everything that they taught us, it was like we got punished for it.
It was very contradicting about hypocrisy and contradictions, all of that. Mm-hmm. So, as we all know, or some of us know that have experienced it themselves, unfortunately, they can relate to us. We know that when there is siblings involved, there is sense to regain control or keep control, where the parent or parents, as in our situation, to maintain control, will tell one another something about that person said this and that, and we'll try to put a wedge in between the siblings in order to maintain control. Yeah. So now we're kind of healing in our own way to discuss the things that were said about one another and realize that it was a bunch of BS. So just a way to keep us apart from one another, because it was either you have a relationship with your mother, and if you didn't want one with her, she didn't want you guys to have one with each other, because being close like we should be would overpower her in a sense where we all could say, hey mom, you just all around, you're just not the mother that you want me, and it would be a problem for her, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're just getting on a couple things. Like I said, we definitely have a lot more segments here, but we're going to talk. Let's fast forward to now. So for those of you who are just tuning in as well, know that they my brother used to stay in the same state as my parents, and my other brothers as well, and has now relocated to my neck of the woods as well, and in search for healing and a fresh start as well. So we're going to briefly touch on that, rather, to talk about your transition. So what was the last straw? At least we all know that there's plenty. I know a lot of them can agree that there's a lot of last straws.
A lot. But
yes. If you haven't experienced it, and for those who have experienced it, can definitely agree with us that you still have that faith that somewhere deep down that your parents are capable of change, or and one day they'll turn it around. So that piece of hope just keeps you going until one day you just got to walk away. So that moment of walking away consisted of my brother walking away to a whole nother state to be up here with me and starting a new life here. So let's talk about that, brother. What was your last straw for you?
My last straw is when they came to my home. I tried to help my parents out. You know what I'm saying? They just lost their home, so I welcomed them into my home. And when they got there, it slowly started to, the drama slowly started to happen. Like, my clothes started getting stolen, that I was being talked about for no reason. And I'm like, I'm just a person just doing my best to be successful, move ahead. My mom peed in my tub and didn't clean it out and said she didn't give up. You know, I don't want to say that on here, but she didn't give a F and stuff like that. And it was just enough. Like, my mom and dad, like my dad at this time, like my dad, like to the worst. Like he just like lying and doing all this extra stuff with her. Like they playing with my my light bill, my gas bill, you know what I'm saying, cut my paper mail off, you know. Then when the paper mail comes, they stripping the you know, doing smart stuff like stripping the paper the bill off and saying, here your paper mail, but I don't see no bill. I mean, it was complete hell, like, you know. And then I lost my car. I had no support, so I had to walk to work. You know, everybody just seeing me just like fall apart. They arguing about the money I got in my pocket, stealing money out of my pocket. I had a box, a couple of $1,000s in it. They was ciphering money out of it, lying, saying I'm going crazy. They wasn't taking money out of it. Oh man, y'all, I mean, they drove me crazy. Like they my mom and dad, all they do is just think about themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just mad because I'm in a room by myself. My little sister in the room by herself, so they mad at that, and that's why we in the room by ourselves. They knocking on the doors, wondering why. Knocking on the door just to annoy us. And I mean, y'all, it's like it drives you crazy. Like you don't have a break. Like they talking about everybody. When my mom came in, all she doing is talking a whole bunch of drama stuff, and it's every day. It's consistent. So they also talking to other people about us. Then those people come to us and argue about us about it, and then we saying, no, this not true. They going back to mom, and mom talking about, no, I didn't say that, or you this, you that. So then they find a reason to be mad with you. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing anything to them. And this chaos was just, oh my gosh, just going on in it was overwhelming. It was the last straw, and I calling my sister up. Now, mind you, now, listen, after all the stuff we went through on this show, it really didn't fix anything. To let y'all know, we were still going through it. Like, for real. My whole home then got destroyed to the point my mom called an ambulance on me saying I was psychotic, and I wasn't even. I'm like, where is this coming from? She said I was trying to cut myself. I was trying to shoot myself. I mean, I never said any of these things. And the officer coming to my, and I'm telling y'all, to see my mom just come to me and say, Derrick, just get some help. I don't know how to help. Y'all see me now, and I'm not crazy. That was the last straw. Tell me I just couldn't live there no more. It was like I'm getting tired of living like this.
It was time for a change.
Yeah. So my sister, I'm constantly talking to my sister on the phone like, Tiffany, I got to go. I'm like, I can't. She was the only person I could talk to, y'all. And I'm going to work sick and everything. One time my parents just drove right past me while I was walking to work, and I'm sick, and I was to the point I had to sit on the railroad tracks and do surgery on myself because I was hurting so much. I was hurting so bad. I had to calm my heart rate down, all of that stuff. My neck was hurting, my shoulder was hurting for straining it at work, and I had no help. I had no support. My parents seen me go in the house soaking wet, coming up after they left and came in my home. They seen me soaking wet and looked at me like, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it was hell. Like I had the mom and them had no love for you. Like
there was nothing left there.
No,
for you,
I wasn't.
And he made his way on up here.
And spent my rent. Sorry, Tim.
You good, brother?
Spent my rent money, and blamed it on me and said it was my fault.
They're always the victim. They're always the victims, of course. And I'm so happy that he decided to make his way here as well. So to let you know, that's kind of like giving you a little insight on what has transpired on his end as well from his side of things. And now I'm happy to have him here. We make a fresh start. Things are going well. So mentally, what would you say is going on with you now? Now it's the good and the bad, because we know that healing is not an overnight thing here. But how would you say you feel overall right now, good and bad? What's going on with you right now?
Well, it's y'all, really, I came here. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Found me another good job. You know, my sister really supported me, because when I got here, I had to do a lot of healing. Yes, I'm on and off. I come to my sister and talk about the stuff that our parents did to us. But most of all, I just try to keep the strength of God in me. I had to do a lot of spiritual healing, you know, working out, eating right, getting fit, working out in the gym that they have. All of that stuff. Like, I had to still have a lot of time to myself, basically, you know, so I wasn't always, you know, around my sister and her husband. You know, I just stayed in a room a lot to heal myself and watch a lot of videos and uplifting stuff, and it healed me, and they supported me in so many ways, like, you know what I'm saying, and the love of God as well. If it wasn't the love of God, I would have went crazy. I probably did things that I wasn't supposed to do, and I just thank God for my sister and my brother for letting me come to their spot and basically regain myself.
Man.
You know?
And when you said in the future, we also talked about therapy as well. Does that look like something possible in the future, to sit down and talk with someone?
Yes, I could still talk to somebody, but in a way,
we know that healing isn't an overnight thing. We know that there's going to be times where you're going to need things. You're going to still relive those moments, because I know for me, we're all different, but I know for me, it definitely took a while, and I'm still dealing with those things. But you're just fresh in your healing journey. But I know that therapy definitely helped me a lot with being able to talk to someone that can help you process those thoughts a lot more. Would it be definitely something that you would consider in the future if need be?
Well, sis, I'm on here and be honest with you there. You know, my healing is, and the reason why I come to you and still talk to you is that you know that you ain't got a brother that's here with you.
Man.
And I feel like that's our therapy, that you're not alone with this anymore and talking about this to yourself, or even, fine, you got a husband here, but honestly, Tim, you my healing. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I know that we both went through this together, so when I come to you and I got to vent, I know I got somebody to vent to them, and everybody talking negative and they don't want to hear. I know I'm going to always listen to you, and you going to always listen to me. So that's what gave me healing to have. Even when I was up there and I was talking to you on the phone, that gave me a little bit of strength left to keep pushing. Like, Derrick, just push this out a little bit longer until I leave from here. And that's basically been my therapy.
And that's good. You know, I never looked at it that way too, because we all have our different ways of coping with things. And I think you're right. Being able to talk to somebody that's lived the same things and did it together, it's not necessarily helpful there with talking to them, because you can't heal in the same places that the same people that made you sick. It's hard for you to heal in those areas, and they're not going to understand because they don't think they're the problem. So we've already exhausted every avenue to try to talk about it with them, and it just creates more wounds for us. So I agree. Definitely talking to one another has definitely been very therapeutic for. I agree with you on that. All right, brother. So we're going to pause it there for tonight. My brother, if you guys don't know, congratulate him. He is starting. He has a big day tomorrow, so we're not going to keep him too long. He is starting his first day at his new job over in my neck of the woods. So everyone send all your love and wishes to. We won't say good luck. Say be blessed. All his blessings and things of that sort, because I believe that this is what the Lord was going to have for him anyway. So we're not going to say luck. We're going to say it's blessing as well. So we'll close out on that. Thank you, brother, for coming and joining us tonight and giving us a little time before your day. We know you want to rest up and things before your big day. Anything you want to say before we close out?
What? Stay strong. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have people out here like this and that's just going to try to destroy you and destroy your dreams. But all I got to say is y'all believe in God. Stay strong. Don't believe it. If you see negative people, go the other way. Don't even sit there and dwell and put your energy in it. Don't put your time and energy to negative people. You know, this is a life lesson, you know what I'm saying, for us. And we even take what we learn from our parents, we even take that out into the world to, like, we notice those people. And when you see those people, cut them off, because they never change. Narcissistic people never change. They're going to always be the same. And that's all I can say.
All right. And once again, we thank him for being here, and I will definitely put those tags in there. Derrick doesn't mind, right, for them to reach out to you and you want to talk and things of that sort. I'll definitely put his Instagram tag. Feel free to inbox him. If you want to leave a comment here on our channel just to say hi or some words of encouragement or maybe some questions, feel free to leave them here. I'm going to leave my email address as well for you to reach out with any other questions. Maybe we can put them on the next segment or something like that. As well, and I'll put my Instagram tag as well. Once again, like I said, his inbox is open. Questions, words of encouragement, all are welcome here. It has been such a pleasure talking to you guys again. Miss Mahari is asleep, so she's not able to say bye-bye. Well, she lifted her hand in. That might be her way of saying bye. She had her eyes closed. But we'll definitely be, on my next segment, we'll be talking about motherhood and things of that sort and what's it like doing without my mother, things of that sort. And we'll also, this won't be the last time that we see brother, because brother's going to be around forever. So we'll definitely have him back. So if there's another segment you want to do with him and have some suggestions on what you should talk about, anything, we can definitely do that. Please leave it there, drop it below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. For anybody else who may be in need of this, please feel free to spread the word as well. There's definitely a lot of other people out here that I know that could use that. But so don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the bottom and spread the word as well, because we're all in this together. Unfortunately, we all share similar stories, but you're not alone. It's as unfortunate as that sounds. It's a blessing in itself, because we can help. We need to lean on one another. So until next time, my loves, stay encouraged, be blessed. We love you. We'll see you next time.
What's that?